Peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? Hopefully, everybody is feeling positive, productive, and powerful on this wonderful Sunday. Give y'all about 3 to 5 minutes to tap in with the kid. Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Sunday. Y'all see the subject matter for the day, man. We talking about how we need to stop creating them enemies and start creating some allies. But of course, I'm gonna give y'all the first 5 minutes. Tap in. Let me know how we living. Let me know how we feeling on this wonderful Sunday. Tap in with your boy. Get ready to build, add on, all that good stuff, man. But what's the word? Renzo, my brother, peace. What's happening? How we living? How we feeling? What's the word? Tap in with your boy on this wonderful Sunday, man. We gonna get some building done. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long, maybe about an hour or so. I just want to get some things off my chest in regards to this particular subject matter. Shakir, peace. What's happening? What's the word, man? Hopefully y'all got time to listen to this build, man. But tap in with your boy. Let me know how we living. Let me know how we feeling. What's the word? Tap in, man. What's this Sunday? How this Sunday treating y'all? How this Sunday treating y'all for show out here, man? What's the word? Like I say, y'all see the subject matter, man. Y'all see what we gonna tap in with, mindset. We striving to change the mindset of the people out here. Transform the mindset so you can transform your reality. To Renzo, man, I be having to get an 8. I get them 8 joints. I could probably go a little bit bigger than the 8, but I get the 8. The 8 seem to work well for me. But what's the word, man? How everybody living? How everybody feeling on this wonderful Sunday? Tap in. How we living? How we feeling? Like I said, hopefully all is well with everybody. And if not, you still got an opportunity to make it better. You still have an opportunity to improve your situation out here. So if things not going good for you today, man, you still got a lot of time to turn it around. So don't waste your time, man. If your day is not going to your liking, get to it, make some adjustments, make some improvements, turn that day around. Turn that mindset around, shift that mindset, shift the perspective, shift the energy, all that. Y'all know how I go. Y'all know how I go for sure. Man, we handling business, we multitasking, we do all that good stuff, man. While we streaming, gotta handle that business. Lorenzo for sure. Yeah, we gonna try to drop a jewel or 2 or 10, however many jewels we drop. We about to drop something. Y'all know how I go. Y'all know how I go for sure. Handling business. That never stops. That never stops. So we gonna give y'all maybe two more minutes or so. Hit that 5-minute mark, man, and then we're gonna start elaborating it, building and all that. Tapping in. For the book of the day that I'm reading, man, I'm tapped in with my boy Bruce Lee, reading a little biography on Bruce Lee. It's a nice little, if you tapped in with Bruce Lee, I definitely recommend getting this particular book, man. Bruce Lee, that's my guy. That was my guy. So any chance I can take to read something about Bruce Lee, I'm gonna read it. This might be one of the only books that I haven't finished about dude. But I'm always studying Bruce Lee, man. Very, very wise individual there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mr. B Like Water himself. Mr. B Like Water himself. Mr. G Kun Do, all that. Yeah, Mr. G Kun Do, Mr. B Like Water himself. I've taken a lot of jewels from the life of Bruce Lee and applied them to my life, straight up. Study a lot of his philosophies. I've even followed his workout regimen for a little minute. I've taken a lot techniques and philosophies from his life and applied it to my life, you know. And a lot of his philosophies, a lot of his workout techniques and routines have worked for me. So I definitely rock with Bruce Lee. I definitely rock with his perspectives on a lot of different issues and things. Like straight up. Shout out to Bruce Lee, man. One of the first of his kind to start teaching Black Americans any form of martial arts. Shout out to Bruce Lee for that. Bruce Lee was one of the first of his kind. One of the first of his kind to start giving martial arts instructions to Black Americans, Black folks in the wilderness of North America. Now, y'all know pretty much everything comes from us. So you already know that we was already well versed in martial arts and fighting and things like that. But Bruce Lee was the first of his kind, one of the first of his kind on record to actually start giving instruction or instructing Black Americans, teaching them martial arts or a form of martial arts. So that's always respectable. I can always rock with somebody like that. I can always rock with somebody like that for sure. You down? Hey, you down with the brother, man? I'm down with you too. A lot of people of his kind at the time were not teaching what they would call African Americans because they wasn't teaching outsiders to begin with, but they started opening the doors to other ethnic groups, and the African American, of course, was one of the last to be accepted in. Bruce Lee was the one that changed that. Bruce Lee was the one that shifted that. So they was teaching the whites, they was teaching all these other ethnic groups. Originally they wasn't teaching outsiders, and they started teaching them. But the last of the last, of course, the last of the Mohegans were us. And Bruce Lee played a pivotal role in that. So shout out to Bruce Lee for that. That's always peace. But yeah, legendary for sure. But we tapped in, man. I'm about to, start building on that subject matter, man. You see it. Stop creating enemies. Start creating allies. The inspiration behind this particular stream and that title revolves around the mindset of the people who like to embrace enemies and who like to not enemies, embrace their haters and create problems where none exist. Y'all know the type of people I'm talking about. Chris, peace, what's happening? You might have a friend, you might have a family member, you might have a co-worker, boss. You know somebody who tends to create problems where none exist quite frequently. And they probably may do that to you. You ever been around a person who tries to put stuff in your head to where they make it seem like you have a problem with something that you don't even have a problem with? These are the type of people that I'm talking about. Remove yourself from the presence of a person like that. And I remember just back in the day, just my facial expression. Like I got a natural expression on my face to where I say it's indifferent, but a lot of people feel like you're frowning, things like that. But it's just my natural facial expression. And I will walk around with this facial expression. And you will have people that's always coming up to you thinking that you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? When there really is no problem there. It's just my facial expression. So after a while, I started to get like that created a problem. That created a problem with me. It started to annoy me. Instead of them just leaving me alone or just choosing to start the conversation some other way, they would insinuate that there is a problem based off of misreading my facial expression. Like I don't do that. I don't look at somebody's facial expression, even if they could actually legitimately be mad, but I'm never going to assume I know how somebody's feeling based on a facial expression, because you got plenty of people who walk around with a smile on their face and they are sad, angry, upset. So I never assume. So I'm not going to start a conversation with what's wrong just because I'm misreading your facial expression. So I'm not going to create a problem where none may exist. I'm not going to do that. So I don't like hanging around people that tend to do that. Instead of chopping it up with you, striving to get a feel for how you are actually feeling, they make assumptions, create a problem, and try to make you have a problem. Y'all done been in those situations where there's been a relationship, friendship, whatever. Somebody that tries to make you have a problem. You telling them, nah, I'm all right, nah, I'm good. And they trying to tell you that you're not. They trying to make you have a problem. No. See, a lot of time, man, we got people out here that just want everybody around them to be the enemy. What they say, misery loves company. So we got people that exist like that, man. They just want to make everybody an enemy. They want to make everybody their enemy. You don't want to be around people like that, man. You cannot trust people of that caliber, people of that nature. And y'all know exactly the type of people that I'm talking about. Just trying to make you the enemy. You done been doing everything for them. You done been helping them out, but still they try to find problems. They try to find problems with your approach with things that you are doing. Disconnect from them type of individuals. Magic Peace, what's happening? Yeah, Terenzo, they tell you to smile as if a smile really means anything in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, plenty of people who are depressed, unhappy, whatever they want to label themselves, are smiling. You know what I'm saying? Like a smile, there's nobody's gonna walk around with a permanent smile. You know what I'm saying? So like, smile really doesn't tell you much at the end of the day. But we got to stop making assumptions just based off of what we see a lot of times, and chop it up with people, man. Chop it up with people. And even still, like initially what folks tell you, you can't accept that on face value. You got to dig deep, got to get beyond the surface. Got to get beyond the surface. Got to get beyond the surface. Oh yeah, for sure, Terenzo. Yeah, the clowns definitely smile. It's a clown smile. You got serial killers that smile. You got a bunch of crazy people that smile. You got a lot of people that have committed heinous acts and they smile. So what does that smile actually truly mean? So we got to stop making assumptions. You got to stop looking at a person's facial expression or whatever the case and think you got them figured out, think you know how they feeling. Man, you may be 100% off, 100% incorrect, So I don't do that, man. I'm all about chopping it up with people. I'm all about having a conversation, indulging in a dialogue. That's how I'm able to determine, the mood of the person, the energy of the person, the character of the person, not by trying to read their facial expression. You could be wrong, and a lot of times people are wrong. They don't want to admit that, though. A lot of people want to give you the success stories when they was right on the money. Like, oh, I knew something was off about such and such. They only want to give you those times. They don't want to tell you about the times where they thought somebody was one way and the person turned out to be the total opposite. Like, I've gotten that personally plenty of times where people thought I was one way, turned out to be the complete opposite. They judged me from a distance. Then they actually got to know me and was like, oh, dang, I thought you was like this. So we got to stop doing that. A lot of people missing out on very valuable relationships because they judging from a distance instead of striving to get to know a person. So you never know what you're missing out on. Like, you could be missing out, and this is just even in regards to a relationship, like the relationship aspect, man. You could be missing out on your ideal partner or person because you are judging them from a distance. You might think that person is not your cup of tea, when in all actuality, that might be your exact cup of tea. But it might be one or two things that you're judging them off of, and instead of having that conversation with them, you like, nah, I'm good. You writing it off. So you might be overlooking the person that you need because of one or two little things that you judging them off of. Got to stop doing that, man. Go have a conversation. Go talk to the person. Talk to people. Talk to people. As much as I don't necessarily like talking, it's valuable. You know what I'm saying? It's valuable, and it's really the only way that you can gauge a person, having that conversation. And then once you had a conversation, now you can observe their ways and actions and see what's lining up and what's not lining up. That's really how you get a good gauge on a person's character. talk to them, and then observe. But a lot of times we just observe, and we barely do that. We just see sometimes what we want to see. We're not really good at observing at the end of the day for the most part. Majority of the people are not good at it. Again, we just see what we want to see, and that's how a lot of people end up in these bad situations. This is how people end up in bad situations, and this is how people block what they would call their blessings. Because again, we see what we want to see. So either you about to overly focus on one or two bad things, or you about to overly highlight or overly focus on one or two good things, to where now you overlooking all these bad qualities, the toxic qualities, the toxic traits. Or you might be blowing one or two bad traits out of proportion, and you overlooking 1,000 good traits. That's what we tend to do. That's what we tend to do, and we gotta stop doing that, man. The art of getting to know people, we've lost that art. We have lost the art of striving to get to know a person, and instead we just think we can figure out people by all these artificial means. Goldie, peace, what's happening? LA, peace, what's happening? Like, instead of us getting to know people, we think we got people figured out by using these artificial means instead of actually going to the source. I don't know about y'all, but the way I was taught is, if you want to know something, go to the source. If I want to know something about somebody, or if I want to know something about something, I'm going to the source. So if I know that this is your line of work, this is your field, your subject matter, and you are an expert in it, if I want to know something about it, I'm going to go to the source, or sources, meaning the people who master this subject. This is your area of expertise. I'm gonna go to them because I want to know something. I'm going to the source, fam. If I want to know something about a person, I'm gonna go to the source. I'm gonna go to the source. I'm gonna talk to the source. Yo, I want to know X, Y, and Z. So I'm about to go to the source, and I'm about to ask them exactly what it is that I want to know and see what they tell me. Go to the source. Nowadays, we don't do that. Nowadays, we don't do that. We think we got people figured out by these artificial means. Like, again, we missing out on a ton of relationships, ton of connections. And that's what I mean by building or creating allies. Chop it up with people, form those relationships, man. I'm all about forming allies, forming alliances. That's what we need to do. That's what the people on top have done. They formed the right alliances, man. They formed the right alliances. You form the right alliances, you create the right allies, or you attract the right allies into your life, that can change the game up for you. That can change the game up for you. And you don't need a lot of people. Again, the people at the so-called top, it's not a lot of them. And I say this all the time, it's not a lot. So you don't need a lot of people. You don't need a lot of people. But forming alliances, when you study success, when you study war, when you study anything, you're gonna tap into forming alliances. Build what they call it. Napoleon Hill called it your mastermind group. Like, you're gonna come across this concept worded differently, but it's all the same. You're gonna come across the concept of building an alliance, forming a team, forming a group of people whom you trust, whom you can get things done with. This is an important aspect of wealth building, of just being successful. You want to form a circle or a community of like minds, fam, of like minds, so that we can build, so that we can generate the wealth. Whatever it is that we striving to come together and do, it's going to take a team. It's going to take a group. There's no way around it, especially with the way the world is set up now. We all like to talk about being independent. We all want to make it seem like we could just do everything by ourselves. That's not, no. When you tap into anything that you've done, I don't care how much it appears that you may have done it by yourself. I promise you, there was some help involved from other people. I promise you, no matter what it is that you're doing, I promise you there was some assistance from other people, from outside sources that helped you get to where you were striving to go. Promise you. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm more focused on forming alliances with the right minds, with powerful minds. I don't feel good waking up focusing on my haters, focusing on people who don't like me, who I don't trust. You keep concentrating on those type of people, that's all you're going to attract. And now you're going to end up in a ton of terrible situations because you keep focusing on your haters, your enemies, folks that don't like you, folks you cannot trust. And you're going to continue to find yourself in those type of environments and situations and circumstances. You know, even when you are conversing with people, you know, you got to watch that energy. You know, stop creating problems. Stop making people the enemy when they striving to help you. You know, stop doing these things, man. We got to stop doing these things. Not everybody is out to get you. Yes, there are some people that are out to get you, but not everybody. You got to be able to, you got to have good discernment when it comes to that. You got to be able to decipher who's genuine versus who is not. You know, we got to stop blocking out everybody. I don't trust nobody. That's really not a good way to live, man. You know, you gotta have one or two people around you that you can trust, man. You know, you ain't gotta trust a million people, but you need about one or two or three people around you that you trust. Gotta have it. You know, we be walking around spitting out some philosophies that's actually more detrimental. You know, that's more detrimental than beneficial. And we don't even realize some of the things that we are saying and the type of situations and circumstances that those sayings can attract to us. Like, I don't trust nobody. What you think you're going to attract by constantly saying that? You are going to constantly attract non-trustworthy people. If you keep walking around saying how much you don't trust anybody, then you're going to keep attracting people who cannot be trusted. You're going to attract people who will confirm this saying that you keep putting into the atmosphere. So if you keep saying you don't trust anybody, that's exactly what you are going to continue to attract, non-trustworthy individuals. But if you shift your perspective, then you may start attracting people who are trustworthy, because there are trustworthy people out here. It's funny, all of the people that's walking around saying they don't trust anybody, making it seem like we don't have trustworthy people. Well, what do y'all consider yourselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, got to be some trustworthy people out here somewhere, you know, because we think we the trustworthy people, the ones that don't trust anybody. You know, I don't care if it's a small pool of trustworthy people, it's still a small pool. You know, so if you shift your perspective, you might start attracting those type of people versus the non-trustworthy types of individuals. And I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather attract those people. I'd rather attract people around me that I can trust. Now, of course, when we say trust, we don't mean blind trust. I'm not just going to trust somebody and not think that they are not capable, you know what I'm saying, of losing that trust. I'm not going to do that. You know, everybody is capable, but I'm not going to overly focus on that aspect of it. You know, I'm going to shift my energy towards attracting more trustworthy people, and then I'm going to deal with those people accordingly. I'm going to give you the information that I trust you with, which I'm never going to give anybody everything in that regard, but I'm going to give you the information that I trust you with, and I'm going to see what you do with it. I'm going to see what you do with it. Like, I'm gonna see what you do with it, you know, and then we gonna gauge everything off of that, you know. But again, we never let our guards completely down. That would be irresponsible. We don't do that. We don't do that again, because everybody is capable, because everybody has the ability to change. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has the ability to change. And that's just the reality of life. You know, so I'm not gonna attach myself to this outcome to say, okay, I got all these trustworthy people around me. man, I can let my guards fully down. I don't have to watch nobody. I don't have to pay attention. Because I trust everybody around me. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to live like that. But I'm not about to live at the other end of that spectrum either. I don't trust nobody. My guard always up. I don't trust nobody. Nobody is to be trusted. There are a few people out here that can be trusted. I trust myself. You know what I'm saying? You know, there are a few people around here that can be trusted, man. Now, again, nobody's perfect. Even a person that's trustworthy might let you down a time or two. You know, sometimes people that let you down, it's not intentional. You know, so you got to, even when a person lets you down, you got to break that situation down. Was it intentional? Did they mean to do this? You know, break it down. Break it down, then make a decision. RL, peace, what's happening? Lil LA for sure. You say, oh, I trust always that what happened can happen again. 1000%. And more than likely, you know, if you give if a person does you dirty one time, more than likely they're gonna do it again if you continue to allow that person to exist within your cipher. Terenzo, that's what I say. A person that doesn't trust anybody doesn't trust themselves because they are part of that anybody. 1000%. You know, so that be sounding good. I trust no one. That's already in my world. That's a lie because again, like I said, I trust myself. You know, trust myself. And there are a few other people who I would trust with certain things. You know, and one of the reasons why you would have, like, I wouldn't trust certain people with certain things doesn't even have anything to do with their character. It just may be that whatever it is that I need to trust them on, that's not a strong area for them. You know what I mean? Like if I know somebody sucks at planning and scheduling, like I'm not going to trust them with that task. They might be a trustworthy person, but you may not be able to trust them with certain tasks because that's not their strong point. You know, so we got to even break things down like that. You know, you can't trust everybody with everything because everybody has strengths and weaknesses. You know, so I only trust people in areas where they are strong. You know, like, hey, if you good at planning and scheduling and I got you in my mastermind group, then I'm going to trust you with everything that revolves around planning and scheduling. Anything outside of that, I'm not going to give you that task because that's not your area of expertise. That's not why I brought you into this group. You know, you might bring me into the group for health related information or for fitness. You know, you might trust me with your health and your fitness. Anything outside of that, you may not trust, you may not give me that task. But when it comes to getting you in shape mentally and physically, that's when you come seek me out because you trust me with that. You know? Salacious, peace, what's happening? Blaze, peace, what's happening? You know, so again, man, there's very select few people who you may trust to do any and everything for you. Very select few. You know, you trust people with certain tasks, you know, with certain subjects, with certain activities. You know, you trust people to do certain things for you, but not everything for you, you know. So that's how trust tends to work. You know, now from a secret standpoint, now that's different. You know, but y'all know who to tell stuff to versus who not to tell stuff to. You know, but again, hey, everybody is capable at some point of even revealing those secrets or letting those secrets out the bag. So anytime, so the way I approach it, Blaze, peace, appreciate that cash app. So the way I approach that is when I tell people something, like when I give people some information, I immediately detach myself from them keeping it a secret. I detach myself from it. If I tell somebody something, to me, the secret is already is done because now somebody else knows. Now somebody else knows. You know what I'm saying? So the moment I reveal a so-called secret to somebody, it's no longer a secret to me. That's how I operate. So then if they tell somebody else, I'm not upset. Because the moment I tell somebody something, there is the possibility that they can go tell somebody else. So to me, when I reveal the secret to somebody else, to see it's out the bag. So I'm only telling you information that I don't mind you letting somebody else know. You know, that's how I look at it. That prevents me from getting upset that somebody told somebody something that I told them. I told you something that I don't mind you telling other folks. That's why I told you. If I don't want somebody to know something, I don't tell people. Straight up. You know, the safest secret is with you. You know what I'm saying? But again, we like running our mouths, you know. We like to tell people things and say, hey, don't tell anybody. You about to take an L with that. You know, you about to say you there's a possibility that you can take an L with that, you know, because people talk. People talk. So if you don't want people to know something, then don't tell it. That's how I operate. The moment I reveal a secret, the moment I tell you something, it's no longer a secret. If I tell one other person, it's no longer a secret, and I treat it as such. I told such and such, there's a possibility that they can open their mouths to somebody else. And once they tell somebody else, it's really a wrap. You know, so I'm going to tell you something that I don't mind getting out. You know, that's how I look at it. Terenzo, no, I haven't tapped in with that one, man, but I'm definitely going to tap in. I've heard about it, though. Sharif and Peace, what's happening? You know, so we got to be mindful in regards to just who we share information with. And then once the information is shared, it's like, all right, man, anything can happen from that point. Anything can happen with that information. And so we got to be mindful of that reality and mindful of that fact that once some information is given to somebody else, anything goes at that point. Anything goes at that particular point, you know. So that's how I tend to operate when it comes to secrets. Like the safest secret is kept within self. You know, when you tell one other person something, it's not a secret. It's not a secret. Plus, I don't even like with certain things. I don't even like putting that on people. Man, don't tell anybody this, man. I don't like doing that. You know. You know, people. You know, y'all ever been in a situation? Because I'm one of the people that a lot of people trust with certain types of information. You know, I don't like doing that, man. You ever had somebody come up to you, tell you some crazy stuff that might involve some people that you know, or it might involve them. You know, it might be something that they going through and they dealing with, and you might be cool with like their family or they siblings or whatever, and they tell you don't tell anybody. Man, I don't like that. You know, don't put me in that type of position, fam. Like I don't like that. You know, so I choose not to put people in that type of predicament myself. Noah Line, peace, what's happening? You know, I'm not about to walk up to you and say, man, look, I'm going through such and such and such and such. Don't tell my mother though. You know, and you cool with my mother. You know what I'm saying? So now you gotta just act like I ain't give you this information anytime you get around my mother. Man, I don't really like that. I don't like being placed in that type of position. So I don't place people in that type of position. You know, I'm not gonna tell you something and be like, don't tell my parents and y'all cool. You know, so every time you have an interaction with my parents, like it's bothering you that you can't tell them this. Nah, I ain't gonna do people like that, and I don't like when people do me like that. I don't tell my mama this and that, because at the end of the day, it always gets back that you knew. Like, oh man, you knew and didn't say nothing. Like, man, don't do that. Like, we gotta stop doing stuff like that, man. We gotta stop doing that type of stuff, man, for real. You know, so I don't place people in those predicaments because I don't like being placed in them. You know, I try to live the golden rule. I try to live it. You know, when they say treat others how you want to be treated, I literally try to live like that. Sometimes I take my L's, you know, sometimes I fail, you know, but for the most part, hey, I try to do unto others as I would want them to do to me. You know, straight up. Like if I don't like something done to me, I try not to do that to other people. Try my hardest. you know. But meanwhile, a lot of people, they don't live by that philosophy at all. Like, they treat others the total opposite of the way they would like to be treated, and then don't understand when it comes back to them. Then they complain about that. Blaze, it goes left 99% of the time. When somebody gives you that information and tell you, don't tell mama this, don't tell mama that. Man, don't do that. Don't do that. Especially they'll tell you, like, a person to give you this secret and tell you not to tell the person that actually needs to know. They'll tell you not to tell the most important person. Like, man, don't do that. They'll give you a secret and tell you not to tell the most important person, the person who really should have gotten this information first. Somebody tell you this secret and say, hey, don't tell them. Don't tell mama, don't tell dad, don't tell whoever. Don't tell my wife, don't tell my husband. Like, they the ones that need to know, don't tell me. I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Can't stand that at all, you know. So again, I try to be very mindful of placing people in that type of environment and situation myself. I'm not, if I share anything with you, I'm not gonna put that stipulation on it. I'm not about to be like, hey man, don't tell my mama though. Don't tell nobody I said, don't tell them I said this. Like, if I told you, I told you. You know, at this point, if I told you, I told you. You know, I gave you this information with knowing the possibility that it could be leaked, you know, that it could be given to somebody else. So I don't mind the information getting out, you know. But those situations always go left, though, you know, straight up. I ain't gonna say always. Sometimes it might go right, but for the most part, the majority of the time, them type of situations go left, man. They go left. They go left. You know, placed in them positions and them predicaments. I know I ain't the only one that's been placed in those type of predicaments and situations. You know, y'all got experience with them, but I'm one of the ones that a lot of people don't have a problem with giving very sacred information to. Like, I don't know, well, I kind of do know what it is, but people share things with me that they wouldn't share with almost anybody. They feel like information is safe with me. They feel like experiences are safe with me because I'm not going to, I ain't about to tell people nothing. I don't like gossiping like that with other people, you know, so they feel safe giving me certain pieces of information, you know. But sometimes, man, that could be taxing on an individual, you know, sharing all this sacred information. Like, a lot of this stuff, man, people be hitting me with some, like, they hit you with some deep information, some deep stuff that didn't happen to them. And it's like, if you can't say nothing, like, man, what did you give me this information for? You know, but like, man, people, I don't know about y'all, I don't know if y'all have been hit, man. People be hitting me with some deep stuff. And it'd be random, like, it wouldn't even have anything to do with the conversation. Like, it'd come out. Some deep information. Just deep information. Like, I feel safe. I feel safe enough to hit them with this deep information. Here it go. Almost out the blue, like you don't even be ready for it. They hit you with, they lay it on you. And you be like, yo, you know, I ain't want to know, like, I don't want to know that. But they hit you with it anyway. Sometimes those are uncomfortable situations to be in. Very uncomfortable at times. Like, man, don't be telling me something random and deep like that out the blue. You know, don't be doing that, man. Don't do stop doing people like that. You know, stop hitting people with all this heavy information, these heavy experiences. And like, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody I've been through this. And then when you around people, like I said, they in a environment with their people and everybody wondering why they this and that, and you know why, because they didn't told you. But you can't say no, you just gotta sit there playing stupid. Sometimes with some of that stuff, I'd rather not know. Yeah, I'd rather not know, you know. Lorenzo for sure. And Blaze, that's exactly what I was saying before you tapped in. I literally said that almost verbatim. You know what I'm saying? Before you tapped in. You know, the safest secret is the one kept within self. That's what I said. You know, the safest secret is the one you keep to yourself. You know, the moment you tell somebody something else, it's not a secret. The moment. You know what I mean? The moment you say something, the moment you get this information to somebody else, is no longer a secret. No longer. And that's my perspective on it. You know, you can have another perspective, but that's how I view it. Little LA man, hey, yeah, so sometimes, but I'm more so talking about the people who just basically coming to you to vent. You know, they not even in the business of striving to listen to any good information or any advice. Like they literally just venting. You know, even if you give them information like it's going in one ear out the other. I'm talking about them, those type of situations, you know. Now when we chopping it up, when they coming to me for like advice, different ball game. I definitely welcome that. But when it's like venting and they just dumping everything on you, like I said, you might still verbally give them the advice or the information, but they not there. They don't. This ain't the time for them to receive that. You know, I'm talking about them those type of scenarios, which I tend to get myself into a lot. People in vent mode. You know, when a person is in vent mode, don't matter what information or piece of advice you give them, they not listening. They not hearing. They not listening. They in vent mode. You know, y'all know the type of people I'm talking about. Y'all have been around people that's in vent mode. Y'all have been around it. Y'all have been around vent mode. They ain't not when you. I didn't been even when I'm in vent mode. I ain't trying to hear no any type of advice, any type of information. I'm just strictly trying to get something off my chest that I've been sitting on. You know, and I'm gonna feel a little bit more satisfied once I release it. You know, but I ain't gonna release it and then be like, all right, I need some advice. Now, when I'm in vent mode, I ain't going. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Hey, I'm just trying to get something off my chest. But I normally, it's very rare that I even hit that state. You know, a lot of times, man, I take to the pen. You know, the pen and paper. Like a lot of times, I take to the pen and paper when I need to get some stuff off my chest, to the pen and paper. My little LA, you say you got a event, the art gallery tour. Hey, it's crazy as I might actually be out that way soon. That's what's actually kind of crazy in Atlanta. That is, which I am not too fond of Atlanta, but yeah, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out that way pretty soon. You know, but to get back into the subject matter, you know, again, be wary of the people who try to make you an enemy when you know you coming from an authentic and genuine place, and then don't you be that person. You know, don't you be that person creating enemies where there are none. You know, everybody feels good. You know, y'all done read the 48 laws of power when they told you that you need to have some enemies. You know what I mean? When they told you to keep your enemies close, keep the enemies closer, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Y'all done read 48 laws of power where they done made it cool to have enemies. They make it, they done made people feel like you're not living if you don't have haters, enemies. They tell you that you're doing things right when you have enemies and you have haters. That sounds good and all, but I'm doing things right when I have supporters, when I have people that rock with me. That's when I know I'm doing things right. When I open up a gym My gym ain't successful when I got people hating on it. No, my gym succeeds when I have people that support the gym. You know, when I have people who support the gym, that's how my business succeeds. If I write a book, the book success will revolve around people purchasing the book, supporting the book. So that's what I focus on. I don't feel good about folks hating on the book. I want people to praise the book. I want people to speak positively about the book. I want people to support the book and support all the work I do after the book. That's who I need. That's how I'm going to measure my success. Not by the people that hate on me. Not by the people that dislike what I put out. No, that's not how we gauge in success, man. We gauge in success by the people who support us, by the people who purchase our products, by the people who purchase our services. You know, again, not by the people who hate on us, not by the people who we deem as enemies. I'm focusing on supporters, man. I'm focusing on the folks that rock with me, that rock with what I do. I don't know about y'all, but I want more of those people around me. Again, this ain't necessarily meaning yes men and yes women. No, this just means people who genuinely support what I do. Genuinely support it. Those are the people who I need around me. Those are the people who I need that's a part of my mastermind group. Yes, we can disagree on approaches. We can disagree on visions and certain things. But at the end of the day, even with our disagreements, the support is still there. Yeah, I may disagree with your approach. I may even disagree with what it is you're doing. I may not think that's the best thing for you to do. But if you choose to do it, I support you. You know, I may not think that this is the best product for you to be selling. I may not even like the product. But if you want to do it, I support it. I'm going to buy the product. Like straight up. That's what I mean. And that's how I rock. You know, yeah, man, I'm like, man, I don't necessarily think that's the best approach. But if you've done all your research, if you thought it out thoroughly, and you feel like this is best for you, I'm here for it. That's your vision, not mine. You know, I could just add my opinion from the outside looking in. You know, if you feel strongly about it, if you had that strong desire internally about it, man, hey, go ahead and do what you need to do. I'm here for it. I'm supporting. That's the type of support that you need around you. Like I say, not the blind support, not the people that's supporting you so they can get something from you in the future. No. Yeah, Blaze, and that's why I say if I choose to vent to another person, at that point, I honestly don't care what they do with what I said. You know, the moment I choose to tell somebody some things, at that point, I'm no longer attached to that information. I'm not attached to it. I've given that information to somebody, and there's a possibility that that information can reach other folk. You know, so I'm no longer attached to it. You know, if they keep that information, cool. If that information is given to other people, it is what it is. You know, so when I choose to vent to other people, at that point, I don't even care about the information anymore that I gave them. I ain't attached to it. Yeah, Blaze, and that yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. Agree to disagree. Like a lot of people, it be sounding good, but a lot of people don't, for some reason, can't embrace that concept of agreeing to disagree. You know, everything got to get heated. You know, like it don't take that. Like, all right, man, that's the way you see it. That's the way I see it. Agree to disagree. You know, I still rock with you, my brother or my sister. It's simple as that. I done had plenty of those conversations in person. Like, oh man, that's how you see it. That's what's up. More power to you. I don't see it like that, but we gonna keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm still rocking with you. That's not gonna put a strain in this you know, connection. You just see something this way, I see it the other way. You know, that's it. Everything don't have to be an argument. Everything don't have to be a debate. You know, everything don't have to be somebody trying to prove a point. Like, it don't have to be that. Don't have to be that. But we make a lot of situations to be that when, again, like I'm at a state now in my life where I'm like, is it adding on? Is this benefiting me? Like I said, if it's adding on in a positive manner, is this benefiting me? Then I might indulge, then I might engage in it. Is it harmful? Is it destructive? If the answer is yes, I'm good. You know, if I'm entertaining having a conversation with somebody and I'm like, based on previous conversations with this person, the conversation is not going to add on in a positive manner. It's like because this point I don't really do too well with the small talk. Like me and small talk don't work out too well these days. Like I be getting straight to the point. I'll be ready to get straight to the building. Just I don't got time for all the small talk, man. The meaningless conversation. Like I did enough of that back in the day. Like I'm burnt out on small talk. I don't know if some of y'all can relate and feel me on that, but small talk doesn't serve me well. Like especially when it comes in the form of complaints and all of that, just negativity. I don't really want to be around that. I don't want to participate in it. I don't have time for it. Like let's build on some positive, constructive, or informative. You know, that's the way we are going to inspire change, ignite change. You know, we got to change the conversations that we have. We got to change the type of dialogues that we have. You know, a lot of times, man, when you be around, when you out in the public and you hear a lot of conversations or you overhear conversations, a lot of them conversations be just negative. You know, you ever been out in public, man, just overhearing phone conversations, people on the phone, you like, man, this is what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we be this, so we getting on the phone talking like this still. I ain't got time for that. I'm not about to be talking to somebody on the phone and it's trash. Like we just gossiping, we just mad. I ain't got time for that, man. At some point, this conversation got to hit some type of positive spin. You know, it's got to hit some type of positive spin, man. I can't be doing that, man. But I go out in public, man. You just overhearing conversations, and it just be like, man, what is like this? Would y'all be on? Like I never had that conversation. That conversation would have lasted 10 minutes with me. Because again, the small talk, I ain't here for it. And people know that for the most part when talking to me, they know I ain't got time for that. Like I start giving you real short and sweet answers when the conversation is going a certain direction. Like I'm a zone out. You know, my response is going to be real short and sweet. Once this conversation is going left or going in a direction that's not conducive to my overall growth, I'm gonna start being real short and direct on that phone or in person. So then the person eventually tends to kind of get where I'm going with it. They get my drift. Like they get it, like, oh yeah, dude ain't trying to have this conversation. You know, that's how you shut that type of stuff up. Don't work on everybody. Some people just keep going no matter what, you know, no matter what your facial expression is, no matter what you're saying, they just keep going. Some people just talk. Oh yeah, Lil LA for sure. I'm definitely the same way. You know, and then on top of that, like I've always said, I got a dark sense of humor. So a lot of things that's actually funny to a lot of people don't really be funny to me. And a lot of stuff that be funny to me don't be funny to a lot of people. You know, so the joke you might tell me might actually be funny to most people. But that's not my sense of humor. You know, so I just be like, yep. And a lot of times I'm not doing it intentionally. I just don't find it funny. And sometimes I'm not gonna really laugh. I'm not gonna force myself to laugh if it's not funny. You know, you might get hit with a little fake laugh here and there, but I'm not about to act like I'm cracking up for something that's not funny, that I don't find funny. Just like I wouldn't want you doing that for me. If it's not funny, it's not funny. You know, you ain't got to boost my ego, boost my confidence. I'm not a comedian, so I'm not trying to be, you know. If something ain't funny, it just ain't funny. That ain't my day job to make you laugh, you know. So you ain't got to worry about boosting my ego, man. If I say something to you and it's not funny, hey, just don't laugh at me. Clocks in. Peace. What's happening? What's the word, my good brother? Man, I'm looking at this time, man. I'm probably gonna have to tap out. Like I said, I want to get back to my studies, get back to my chilling. I didn't really plan on streaming this weekend, man. I've been in chill mode, getting my mind right, you know. So I got to get back into that mode before I start this week up, you know, getting these clients right and exact. So I just wanted to tap in for about an hour or so, which I'm right on that. I'm right on that mark. You know, about 4 minutes short, man. Short. But man, I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. You know, if you missed the stream, go back, rewind it, play it from the beginning. It's a little jewel here and there that you can pick up from this particular stream. But man, I'm out. Appreciate the cash apps and all that good stuff, man. I'm gonna let y'all get back to enjoying the rest of y'all weekend, the last of what's left of it. You know, so y'all be easy out here, man. I'm out though. Peace.